Hello there, Reason people, PoohBear here, and welcome to my channel and welcome to part 3 of my in-C project. I'm not going to really be going over anything major within this. This is just purely a very small and very quick update. And yes, you can all stop laughing, it is going to be a quick update. Today I've actually had quite a lot of major issues with timing, as something I actually sort of expected as I was going through this. One of the biggest issues I hit on was I had obviously a square LFO which was doing my pulse, which was doing my countdowns for how many times I wanted to repeat a particular phrase, and I've also have got this random LFO to work out, do I go on to the next phrase or not. These started clashing, which I didn't quite realise, so I've actually had two instruments running side by side, one which doesn't have any randomisation, which then would just go through, repeat its phrases, go on to the next one, and this one would repeat its phrase and then decide will it move on or not from a random LFO. And great, they were going out of phase, that's the whole point of the project, and that's what we was expecting. And then all of a sudden it'd catch up, and it's like, well, this instrument can never catch up with that instrument because that one's never going to stop. And it turned out, because obviously this randomization is, I'd suddenly come along and I'd say, right, fine, I'm going to start my new thing, but then this pulse would suddenly pulse straight afterwards, which would take one off my counter, and that would cause, obviously, give knock-on effects. So the nutshell, in a nutshell, what I've had to do, I've had to re-go through all that music again and work out how many sixteenths are in each bar and then store that data. And I was going through and putting it in the set program, and the next issue I had with the set program was obviously I knew when I got to bar 35 this was going to be 128 sixteenths in this, and obviously it only goes up to 127. I was like, oh no, so I'm going to have to take one off everything and then offset it at the end. So even though I put it all in, I've had to go through it, or then go through it all again. Obviously it was a lot quicker because I'd already worked out what was in what. And so, yeah, so that's taken obviously a little bit of time going through that. So now that side of the timing is actually working. What it does mean though is my pulse can never be smaller than my randomization. And my randomization, I made 1/8. The 1/8 is the pulse of in-C. So I'd only actually change onto a new phrase on 1/8 just to keep that in sync. So that can never go faster than 1/8. But with my countdown, my countdown for the actual lengths, I can go in there and actually half how much I'm taking off, so I can obviously double things, and obviously if I make it a quarter then I can speed it up again. So this should be 16th, but I've made it an 8th, so I've really got it doubled, and then I can double it again and double it again. If I hopefully, in theory, it should work, and that's what should happen. Other things which I've been working on really today is I've actually got my counting the actual phrases with the pattern selector and the countdown with the length all in one combinator. So this is obviously something I can start to copy around, but it's also reliant obviously on a number of bits of data which is coming from this combinator here, so I still need to go through and work a few things out. Another thing I've worked on today, because I had two instruments going, I put a blocker on, so when this instrument over here was going more than three phrases in front of this one, it wouldn't go any further until this one obviously moved on, then that one could start moving on as well. So I've got that blocker in there. Yeah, it definitely needs a bit of work, so I need to optimize this, I think that'd be the best word. See if I can try and make something a little bit better or smaller or tighter, because if not, because everything like this has got to be times by a minimum of 16 times, and on top of this, because this is only sort of saying from this instrument, am I in front of you? Well, I've got to do that for every single instrument I've got, and then every single instrument has got to do that for every other instrument. So I need to put obviously a matrix which is going to allow me to switch around and utilize this bit of, well, obviously I can get rid of some of the monitors, but it's going to utilize this bit. But yeah, so there's quite a lot of work to do around this. This was just proof in the pudding. Can I do it? Yes, I can. And that's really what I wanted, to make sure I could do things. I've added a proper pulse actually into it, so we've now got a grand piano pulse going, playing. And that's really it. As I say, it's a very quick update. I suppose it is the fact that I've managed to tighten this right up. Got rid of the magenta. It says there, ready to delete. I can actually get rid of that. I've actually removed that. That was quite a funny one because obviously I was using the janitor because I was taking, what was I working on? Let me think what I was using that janitor for. I was using the janitor to offset, I think it was something when it went down to a 0. Oh yeah, that's right. Because with the set program on the back, if I remember rightly, when you take a feed out of here, when you move onto a new program, this would jump down to a 0 and then up to its true value. And I was using that 0 offset a little bit into a minus number just to do a quick switch so I could get a new value in, and then when it went back up to its value, it went back up. Well, the solution was actually quite an easy and obvious one, because obviously the switch is 0 and above is in one state, and then a negative, it goes into the other state. Well, I just took that value, swapped the wires around on my switch. I have it going through this slope already because it's I needed to delay it ever so slightly because of the timing. But on the slope, you can reverse the parameter, so invert the signal. So I inverted the signal. So when it's saying 16, it's saying minus 16. Great, so it switches in one way, and then when it goes to 0, it will switch the other. So that got rid of the janitor for me. So I'm just doing silly little things like that just to really tighten this up. So as I said, this is going to be a quick one. This is it. You can actually hear what we've got so far. He says how it's going to sound. Obviously, this is in C, so it changes every time. Sometimes I play the patterns and I think, yeah, it sounds really good. And other times it's like, oh, it sounds terrible. But anyway, thanks for watching and bye for now. I love the fact you can see what's going on the back of these dual monitors, dual CV source. Can't wait to get 16 instruments going. ESP still nice and low.